Well, every once in a while you get really fortunate where you're looking for a play and you actually find something that you read that you are excited about and it moves you and you say, wow, this is really a great piece, and it's right for your audience and right for the theater and right for the town.
Actors Playhouse at the Miracle Theater is thrilled with the show now running. While known mostly for their exceptional musicals, Havana Bourgeois is a drama which centers on a theme that they feel deeply hits home.
Well, I think, first of all, the relevance of the fact that so many people in this town know this story, whether it was their parents, whether it was their grandparents, the people that they know, were forced to leave the island for one reason or another at different times. This happened to be 1958 to 1960 is when the play takes place, and I don't want to give the play away, but the choice has to be made in the play. Do we stay or do we go?
We were approached to consider presenting this play about a year and a half ago, and the people approaching us were very enthusiastic on behalf of the author. And where else could you produce a play like this where it can have so much meaning? I personally grew up in Miami, and I've seen the transition of Miami from 1955 to now, and I love it.
Playwright Carlos La Cámara wrote this 9-character drama which reveals the decay of Cuba under Castro. La Cámara is a Cuban-American actor with a long career in network television, including Family Ties, Nurses, and The Brothers Garcia.
I got the idea for this play when my father became ill, and he was diagnosed with a brain tumor a few years ago, and I started hearing his stories, and I wanted to get them all down, and what fascinated me the most about this was the notion that Cuba changed over a 2-year period from a capitalist country to a communist dictatorship, which is what it is today, and how that affected the average middle-class Cuban.
This is a homecoming for one actor. Danny Pino, who plays the lead in Havana Bourgeois, stars in the hit TV series Cold Case. He's an American actor of Cuban descent who grew up in Miami. He went to Rockaway Elementary School and Junior High, Miami Coral Park Senior High, and FIU.
There were several things in the script specifically that really impacted me. But I think, for the last few years, you watch as people like Celia Cruz and Cachao and people of that generation pass, and my grandparents and my extended family from that generation begin to pass, and you realize that their story is going with them. And what this play does is, through the telling of what happens in this ad agency, it funnels the stories of thousands of people from that generation and brings it to life, and forces you to not only be educated as to what occurred, but to celebrate it.
Actress Josie Harris Thacker, who plays Margot in Havana Bourgeois, is the only cast member who performed in the LA production. She's appeared on many network shows, including the Fox hit In Living Color.
A lot of Cubans came to see it in Los Angeles. I was actually surprised because I didn't know that there was a Cuban community, but actually there is, and we got a lot of Cuban people coming to see it. They were just really moved by it, and they thought it was such a great experience. And funny enough, most of them felt as though it was their story.
Danny Pino is pleased to be part of this ensemble piece, not only because he's back home in Miami. He sees Havana Bourgeois as a professional challenge.
You don't have to sustain a 2-hour performance when you're doing television. You have to sustain a 3-minute scene at a time. You don't get a second take. And, I'm essentially up there for 2 hours. The stage is truly, I think, where you grow. I think it's where you prove yourself, and I think it's truly where you solidify your craft.
Carlos La Cámara feels you don't have to be Cuban to resonate with his play. In fact, his purpose was to stir non-Cuban audiences.
I wanted to have non-Cuban Americans look at this play and not think, I didn't want them to think, oh, what an interesting thing happened over there to that, that culture over there. I wanted them to think, what if that were me? What if that happened here or happened to me? What would that be like? There weren't that many differences between a middle-class Cuban and a middle-class American in the 1950s. They were all buying washing machines and televisions and working hard and supporting their families and complaining about the government and hoping for a better future.
I think the message is that you can appreciate what people go through in their lives. You can understand it better, and in our diverse community, I think it's a good message for everybody to know, because I think we have to appreciate one another, and sometimes we tend to forget all the experiences everybody goes through for their freedom.
To find out more about Havana Bourgeois, visit actorsplayhouse.org.